Hello, my name is Triciajosephs and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ramsey, Minnesota. Today I'm going to highlight the Snail Mail Suite from the January through June 2021 mini catalog. The Snail Mail Suite can be found on pages 54 and 55 in the mini catalog. Showing some samples, the item number and price of $69.50 for the collection. And the collection will include one of every item on page 55. Those items include the Snail stamp set and the Snail Dies. The stamp set includes 8 cling stamps for $19. There is also a bonus stamp. This small circle pops out of the word bubble. So hold on to that because you can use it for a lot of fun things. The Snail Dies include 13 pieces, which have 2 identical small hearts and 2 identical small mushrooms. These dies can be used in the newly available mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine as well as the full-size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The bundle also would include the 2 rolls of twine, Whisper White and Blushing Bride. They each have 15 yards and are sold for $7. The resin hearts, there are 75 each of Real Red and Whisper White 4mm hearts for $7. And the Snail Mail Designer Series paper. The paper comes in 12 by 12. There are 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 double-sided. Mine are cut down here because I've been using them. But this one has an image that can be punched out with a die. You can do the present, but then you have to do a little fussy cutting to finish it off. The snail also has a die. As well as a small die to pop out the little closed envelopes. The other side here, there is a word bubble die. Pop out the words here. We'll start with some Calypso Coral, and it's cut down to 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Use your bone folder to get a nice crisp fold. Next we'll put a Whisper White layer. It is cut down to 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to use Stampin' Seal to adhere that. Next, we will have another layer of Calypso Coral. It is cut down to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I'm going to bring in a piece of our small grid paper, which is actually sized to fit in the Stamparatus. And for ink today, I'm going to be using Calypso Coral, which does come in a full-size pad. Today I am using a Stampin' Spot. We do have a set of 8 that is sold in the annual catalog. This particular one I got out of a paper pumpkin kit. Our paper pumpkins are our monthly subscription kit, and every one will include a spot, differing colors. This little spot that I mentioned earlier. And ink it up. I'm going to stamp off so we get a lighter color. over our ink pad so we don't make a mess. Get rid of that. And next we are going to bring in some items that I already die cut. Just the piece of basic white, actually Whisper white cardstock, but like I said, basic white is interchangeable. And 2 of the snails that were already on the DSP, and a little heart. We're going to bring in our dimensionals. I'm going to use a mini dimensional. Get up here in the corner. This one, I'm going to have him going off of the white layer. So I'm going to add a second layer of dimensionals for the piece that will be adhered to the calypso coral. So we have a double layer on this side. Go ahead and get a little close there. Peel him up. That way the snails are at the same layered height. And I'm going to add a glue dot to the heart. Cute little Valentine or maybe an anniversary card. And we also need to decorate our envelope here. We'll grab the Happy Mail enclosed. We're going to use our ink spot again, and since our stamp is bigger than the ink spot, we'll take the ink to the stamp to make sure that we can fully cover it. At this the corner, be sure to put firm pressure. And there we have our completed project. Next, I have a few samples I would like to show you that I've made with the set. This first one is a circle punch flat fold card, which is the layout you'll use for your make and take. I used Coastal Cabana and some of our designer series paper. The sentiment is from Itty Bitty Birthday, and then inside sentiment is from Happiest of Birthdays. Slips right under there to close it again. This sample is made with Coastal Cabana cardstock. I punched with Coastal Cabana ink. The snail is stamped with Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and then I used a variety of our Stampin' Blends to color it in. Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based markers, so we can do the blending. Has some Old Olive cardstock and also some Mossy Meadow. The little mushrooms, as you recall, there are 2 of those dies in this set. I also used the Stampin' Blends to color the Whisper White twine, so it would match with the card. This next one was a lot of fun to make. I used our Whisper White note cards and envelopes. I cut a Whisper White layer with the stitched rectangle die, And then I used a variety of other colors of scrap paper. This is the stamp I used, and I would put it across just a strip of scrap paper and then use the little die to pop those out. The snail was stamped with the Memento ink and colored in with some blends. These next ones I was just playing around with color, so I have a few of the same layout but different color choices. I used the new blending brushes that are available in the January through June mini catalog. I colored the heart with Blackberry Bliss blend, and the snail was done with Blackberry Bliss and crumb cake. The image on the envelope was stamped with Blackberry Bliss classic ink. Same layout, but I used Misty Moonlight and Cinnamon Cider, which are current in colors. This one used Smoky Slate and Just Jade. For the image, I used our Stampin' Right markers, which are water-based markers. And the final one, I used Purple Posy and Highland Heather, Light Balmy Blue and Night of Navy to color in blends to color in the snail. On the envelope, I stamped with Black StazOn, and then I used our watercolor pencils and just blended that in there. A fun 3D item is our mini pizza box. I used a couple different pieces of designer series paper and then just some cardstock and punched out a few mushrooms. This one highlights some of the strips of designer series paper. Just highlighting a few more strips. I did use a background, an embossing folder for some texture in the background. There is one of the resin hearts. This one does not have any stamping. The background layer is embossed with embossing folder, and all of the mushrooms were hand cut, fussy cut out of a piece of designer series paper. And of course the die for the postage stamp. This one, this background stamp is from Swirly Frame stamp set. This guy is fussy cut. These are die cut with the small little rectangular die. And my final sample here, using some designer series paper, but this small envelope die that comes in the set is adorable and goes together really quick. It's going to be a lot of fun to work with. So thank you so much for watching my demonstration. The suite includes the Snail stamp set and the Snail Dies, the 2 rolls of twine, resin hearts, 12 double-sided 12 by 12 sheets of the DSP. So the whole bundle is sold for $69.50 and does include a 10% discount on the bundle of the stamp and dies. Thank you so much for joining us for Demos Galore. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration and all of the others that are coming up.